Starting right now. We are live from Sacramento, California. It is 3 a.m. in the morning here. I believe 3 a.m. on Friday morning, and so we're just getting our day started. I'm still suffering, and Mammy's still suffering from jet lag, that's for sure. We've been napping on and off today, in between visits from family and friends. It has been grand. Let me see who all is here. Let me bring up the comment section here. Good morning. Tim Desiak is here. Aileen Cruz official. Anime is in the house. Who else do we have? Michael Sacomas. I have, I know Nicole Farr. I saw her earlier sharing out the live stream. Let me grab my other phone. Mawelma's here. So I'm not reaching over, blocking my beautiful face. Rona Cease is here. Finger licking good in the house. Rodel Jean God, Conan Girl, John Avery is here. Madeline Reyes, Mildred Balanga is in the house. Ramir cannot be too far behind. That's what I say. Thanks all for being here. I really appreciate it. Aileen Cruz official, happy birthday. Did we miss your birthday? There's something in my head that says that you had a birthday. Yen Irene Sai is here. How are you? We're going to be playing the game today. We're going to be drawing for money. If you need a little bit of rice or something, Tim Desiak is in the house. Minnie Snow, what do you know? How's school going? Letty Me, how you be? There's Nicole. I knew she was here. I just saw her step in. Rona sees. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for your time. And while I'm at it, I'd like to thank a few people that we've visited with. Time, this is why I really appreciate the support that you have been giving me on this channel, because time is so valuable. And I think if you don't thank people for the giving of their time, you're not doing yourself any good. So thanks so much for taking the time out of your busy day in order to meet with Mam Minnie and I and visit the channel. Even though we're giving away money, I mean, I like to give back. I'm going to tell you how it's gone in terms of expenses on this trip. Talk a little bit about it, maybe not a lot. But I also would like to thank the folks that we have met with so far in this trip, both in Los Angeles, Sacramento. We are talking about Paz and Troy, Paz being from Cebu, Miss Ryerson old family friend, and we knew Miss Ryerson when Ina V was going to school. She was her teacher, and she was very, very helpful in helping Ina V transition into American education system many, many years ago. We have Misa, her best friend, son Craig, his wife Chris, and the kiddies, the grandchildren. Hey, I would like to say something. My son's last name is a Filipino last name, and I've been checking out the origin of that last name. It's very interesting. I think that as soon as I say the name, some of you may know the origin of it, right? But I was married to a Filipino American for about 5 years, maybe 10 years. I can't really remember. The whole thing was a nightmare. But anyway, the last name, it's a hyphenated last name. So he has mine and his mom. And the last name is known in the Philippines, but it's not a very, very common name. It is pronounced Idades. And there is an Idades hotel in Cebu, and that is one of his relatives. And so it's very, very interesting. We didn't know until I started doing some research, but it turned out you have an artist with the last name Idades. It's spelled differently. You know, it's been Americanized a little bit, his spelling of the name. I don't know exactly when they transitioned to the different spelling, but if you look it up in Cebu, you have the Adatis Residences or the Adatis Residence Hotel. And he was basically a very, very famous artist who spent time here in the USA. If I'm not mistaken, he graduated from um, a university up in Washington State. Well, you guys do the research, and if you find out anything interesting about the famous artist Idades, then please forward it to me. So that's sort of like research in progress, if you will. All right. So we also have met, or we will meet up with Mike and Cora. Mike and Cora coming to Sacramento. They're going to be taking us to their house in Vallejo, which is about, maybe it's a little bit further than the halfway mark from Sacramento to San Francisco, and we'll be flying out of San Francisco on this trip. So it was a little bit difficult to pull off, but what we did was we flew into LAX, and then we saw my mom and my sister Nancy and nephew Charles and a few other people, and then we hightailed it north on the Amtrak train, which is a first time experience. And there's a live video that you can go and watch. It'll show you a little bit of what we saw. Of course, Knitband, I don't know if Knitband's here listening in the BG, but Knitband was making fun a little bit. There's not much there, but of course you'd be fascinated with it, I'm sure, because it's farmland. I mean, they grow everything there in the Central Valley. That is a 600-mile journey from Los Angeles to Sacramento. And the way they do it is you have to go to the train station in Bakersfield. Bakersfield is about a 2-hour bus ride from Union Station in Los Angeles. So we traveled. My sister Nancy dropped us off at Union Station in the morning. We grabbed the bus. It drove us to Bakersfield. It was a very, very comfortable ride. A nice experience. I hope I get to do it again. Then we got on the train. We went live. Once I figured out how to do it, it was okay. But we had one false start that didn't work out so well. But we fired it up again, and that video is done pretty well. It's it's gotten about, I don't know, maybe 250 or 260 views. A lot of people joined us on the ride. It's very interesting, and they gave us free snacks on that train ride as we moved north to a place called Stockton, California. If you'd like to learn all about the history of the Central Valley, I encourage you to go to Google, and you'll get all the information about the history of California and the Central Valley. And then you'll find Bakersfield and Stockton. And I don't know, I'll refrain from making any jokes about Bakersfield, California. A very affordable place, however, to live. One of the most affordable places to live in the state of California, along with a city called Fresno, which is also located in the Central Valley. So we had a really, really good time. We got lots of rest. It was a very, very comfortable ride. Mike Married is in the house. Larry Lee, how you be? Uh, yeah, I encourage anybody, if you end up in California some kind of way someday, then and you want to really see this state, then just grab the train and go up the Central Valley and just hop off. I think they do have, not all year round, but they do have a train that is like it makes several stops north where you can hop off and hop on the train. I could be wrong about that, but I do believe I saw it. And if they don't have it, doggone it, they ought to, right? All right, so now I'm in a nice, comfortable spot. This hotel room turned out to be uh, very big and comfortable, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. Who else I want to give a shout out to? Oh, my former QB mate at work, James Starr, who's running for the retirement board and most likely will be elected. And James, he's an interesting guy, but I love talking with him. I was able to meet with my buddy James Starr at least twice on this trip when things didn't work out and other people had to cancel plans or we had to cancel plans and change them up. James Bridie, guy I've known for, I think, my entire county career from day one. Uh, Always enjoy meeting with James and talking, current events and things like that. We had a pretty good time sharing a meal and then going over stuff that was going on locally. My mother, of course, my beautiful mom who loaned me the car that I wrecked. I didn't wreck it, like total the car, right? What happened was we were coming down a narrow street and a guy in a crew cab Chevrolet, real big truck, right? Decided that, thanks for sharing out, Moam. I really appreciate it. Thank you, journals, for being here. Um, Charmaine is here. Hi, Charmaine. Yeah, we're going to be giving away money. I'll tell you what that's about as I make my way through my stories. We're 12 minutes, 25 seconds into the live. So anyway, this guy decides he wants to open his door to exit just as I'm passing, and there was barely enough room coming down this street for two cars to pass. And then when you add in that they were doing on-street parking, and of course he was halfway in the middle of the street, I wasn't paying attention. And the reason why I wasn't paying attention, it was all my fault. I wasn't implying that it was that idiot's fault. Not in the least, right? It was all my fault because I was distracted by an alien invasion. So all of us in the car looked up at the same time to our left, and we saw a flying vehicle that we have never seen before. But it wasn't a flying saucer. It was a multicolored two propeller, what do they call it? Whirlybird. And it was flying very, very low as though it was doing some kind of surveillance or patrol. So it was a big helicopter and it was painted all kind of different colors, right? Almost like rainbow colors. And the thing was flying very low and it caught my attention. And it's quite possible that I jerked the steering wheel over to the right just as that dude, just as that idiot was opening the door street side. And so let me tell you that quickly, the rest of the story there, right? Of course, it was my fault. I grabbed the insurance card, my license and all that. I was going to go share it out. But there was absolutely no damage to the dude's truck because it sat way high. And so as we were flying by, it hit the corner of his what do you call it, of his door of his truck as he was opening it, scratched a little bit of the wheel well. You could tell that I was driving straight. And how you can tell is the depth of the scratch, because it went from point A to point B along the wheel well about an inch on each side. And so you can barely see it. It's noticeable, of course, to my mom. And then as it was passing, it slams into the crash rear view mirror, the crash mirror. Now it's called a crash mirror because it's supposed to break apart before it breaks the window, before it destroys the window and smashes it. The plastic mirror is supposed to break apart almost like implode into a million pieces, because this is a common occurrence, right? So they make what's called a crash rear view mirror. And so that broke apart into a million pieces. Long story short, I get out, I go see the guy. The guy's very combative, you know? I'm just like, calm down, calm down. It was all my fault. You know, it was all my fault. I tried to get out in the street by opening my door into traffic. You moron. But there was no damage to the guy's door. There could have been serious damage to both him and the door, you know. He could have been killed, you know, quite frankly. A second and a half later, if his body had been out there in the street, then he probably would have been hit also. Jason is here. Viana Cayas is here. Oh, Cañas, that's right. Viana Cañas. Yanarine in the house. So it can happen to the best of us anyway. So I go and I'm walking back to get my insurance, and he just yells at me, "Hey, there's no damage." And there wasn't. There wasn't even scratch paint. It caught the door on the bottom corner as I was passing by, and it goes zoop. But the reason why I know I didn't jerk or deflect, right, is because when you look at the scratch, right, it is even from front to back as I'm passing, you know, and also the mirror did its job and broke apart. So now I went around, I was going to repair this before, my mom was with me, by the way, and so was Minnie. Minnie was in the back seat. My mom was in the front seat. No one saw it happen. No one saw the door open. I was the only one that caught it in my peripheral vision. I caught it through the side, you know, because everybody was looking up at that whirligig, you know, because it's just unusual to see a whirligig like that flying at a very, very low altitude, less than 1,000 feet, and being multicolored, right? Almost like it had a rainbow flag. Menge is here. Menge has my attention. She's been a member for 3 months. Thank you so much. Chow Ram is here. Pressy Manzanero. Pressy, how are you? How's your baby? Pressy Manzanero in the house. Hey, thanks so much for giving me your time. It's the single most important thing and a gift I am honored to receive. Okay, James Bridie, it's always fun meeting with you, mom, sister Nancy, and nephew Charles, who has a beautiful smile. And anytime I've ever met Charles, our paths have crossed. He has got just a great smile. He walks around with a smile imprinted on his face. Something that I wish that I could do, because I'm always looking mean, like I want to beat somebody up, right? And Des is here. That's because I'm a mean guy. Obviously. All right. Tomorrow we're meeting with Laura and her sister, also from Cebu. Now, as soon as their maiden name, they're both married to, I believe, Americanos, right? Lucky them. And they live in the Sacramento area. We became fast friends right away, almost immediately after I imported Man Mini to Sacramento. No, I didn't import her. She immigrated. I said imported. That's bad. I do apologize to all Filipinos out there. Anyway, Laura and her sister. I want the main name Amodia, and a lot of you know it because the Amodias are from Cebu, and so a lot of you know that name. Oh my gosh! I also want to express. I realize that a lot of people are going through a lot of crap because you've gotten hit with 2 typhoons in a row, and northern Luzon, the northeast, is absolutely getting killed by the typhoons. Flooding going on everywhere. People are losing their houses. I saw a couple of videos that showed Filipina Raquel. I think she's to the northwest of Angeles City, or she's somewhere near there, right? Pampanga, cleaning out her flooded house. I'm so sorry you have to go through that. But it illustrates an interesting thing about climate change. Yes, I know that typhoons are fairly common, but they used to hit the island of Leyte, where Mamini and I live, like crazy. You know, Yolanda, and you know, all the that caused the mudslides a couple years ago, 2020 or 2021 or 2019, where all those people lost their lives in the mudslide. And that remnants of the mudslides from the typhoon are still there. You remember when it came through Leyte and hit Ormoc and Datum, Bye Bye City, Leyte, and all that whole area, and just destroyed it. And fortunately for us, you know, we got the impact of the signal one, but it did absolutely no damage to the house. It did not flood. A lot of you know that I took precautions. I wasn't there, so I'm not sure that what we did had anything to do with mitigating it. But I mean, we dug a lot of dirt out around the house and filled it up with river rock, and then built those collection tanks, and so that we could collect everything into one single tank, and then in a pump it out into a cistern outside the front of the house. And so I don't know if that helped to mitigate anything that would happen, but we did not feel the brunt of either one of those typhoons that came through. And I wish all those well that have to deal with that, because I know there's been loss of life, and the flooding is terrible, especially when you get up there to the northeast of Luzon. Luzon just keeps getting hit, and hit again. Mariah's here. Mariah Marshall in the house. How are you? And Daisy Lynn Castro is here. Daisy Lynn, a beautiful voice. You're missing out if you don't go. You're missing out if you don't go and visit Daisy Lynn and give her some love. You know, I do all the time. No, no, not that kind of love. I'm a happily married man. I'm talking about a different type of love. I show up, right? I show up once in a while. Most of the time, I'm lurking in the background on most of your channels. So you might think that I don't know what's going on, but yeah, Tim Deziak, I saw your post also. Getting another typhoon very soon. Tim, it was pouring rain in your neighborhood. I saw that. I saw that posting on Facebook. I don't know if that's one you did as a short video, but oh my gosh, it just, the heavens just open up and just come, the water just comes pouring down. It's almost like taking a 5-gallon bucket of water and just dumping it right on your noggin. I mean, it's terrible. What can we do? That makes me even happier that I could give away a little bit more money today. I'll tell you what we're going to do in a minute. Some of you, about the trip. So we took Starlux through Taipei, and I have nothing to report about that airport. Nothing, because I didn't see much of it, because we were transiting from from one international arrival terminal to another. And that whole thing took up all the time, and I didn't see a thing. We didn't transit through where all the commercial space was. We just ended up coming to a arrival gate and then having to find our way to the next departing gate, and all that took an hour because I couldn't remember how that airport worked. But after we went through it, I remembered exactly how the airport worked, and so I don't mind going through there again or transiting through there. But it's a chore. It took us an hour to get from point A to point B to the next terminal, where we caught the other Starlux plane, the Big Bird. I think they ended up flying an Airbus 350. Minnie and I paid for not the most special of the special seats, right? But we paid an extra fee so we could have the comfortable forward center aisle seats, which worked out just great. And so we're doing it again on the flight back. But you know, on that flight inbound to Taipei, they fly an Airbus A320 or they fly an A321. And I had really wasted money to get the exit doors. Of course, it was very, very comfortable and all that, because when you get those exit doors, they are very comfortable, but because you have all this leg space and everything. But it wasn't really necessary that we sit there. And so on the way back, we won't be spending the money to get the comfortable seats. that is only a 3-hour flight from Taipei to Cebu. We'll see how it goes to see how much of this I can put in a video or perhaps even live stream. Before I forget about it, I just want to say that we took our phones. You know, I'm doing the live stream on an Oppo. What do they call it? Pro 12, Pro 11, something like that. And we were able to get a roaming data that works in the United States, so I didn't have to. I do have my Google Fi phone, and it has come in very handy, right? In case I need to make phone calls and stuff like that. But here on this Oppo, we were able to get data on our phones that covered our use in the United States. And I'll tell you, if you come here and you've got your Oppo phone, or you got an unlocked phone from the Philippines, or a locked phone, just by roaming data, and you're all set to go. Don't come in here and spend all the money to get a phone set up with a SIM card and all other stuff when you could pay $10 or $20 and have all the data that you need for your visit in the United States. It's amazing. I don't mind paying the fees at all, because it's really cheaper than having to set up a new phone. And so that went very, very well. What else? And right now I'm on Wi-Fi. I'm on the hotel's Wi-Fi. You saw the short video of the Big Donut in La Puente, where my mom lives. Now, folks, if you don't know it, that donut has been in several movies, and it's an IG and Instagram, very Instagrammable location. And it became famous in the 1984 movie Police Academy. So when you go in there, Police Academy is probably on YouTube if you want to watch it. It's a pretty fun movie, but you're going to see that scene. One of the most fun scenes in the entire movie is when they're standing there in front of the donut hole. I don't want to give it away, right? But the music accompanying that video is the theme song from Police Academy. And some of you would know it, but most of you wouldn't, unless you were American. Going in there, you'd know right away that it was from Police Academy. So I was pleased with myself. Sometimes I come up with some wild ideas and they collapse, but this one didn't. You know, every time I go in there and I watch the video, it's very enjoyable. While I'm talking about watching the videos, folks, we still have a ways to go. The revenue has bounced, so I know I need to thank you for the revenue bounce from watching the videos with the ads. But we still have we're over the halfway mark for sure, but we still have a ways to go. And so if you want that money for Christmas, you know, that 5,000 or 6,000 pesos, whatever it is at the exchange rate when it hits the bank account, we got to step up our game and get that money in the bank, because I want to give it away before Christmas. The first week that it probably will hit the bank on December 7th, if we're good, if we can get it up to the minimum. We still have some work to go. While I'm thinking about that, we have one video that if Anna Mae can pull it off, she could post the link. It's a short video. It's called Jollibee versus McDonald's, and it's starting to slow up. And we're within 4,500 views of hitting 100,000 views on that short video, and that will be my first 100,000 view video. I really want it. I can taste it. I can taste it. You guys, if you have the time, which I know a lot of you are working your channels and you're assisting others, go in there and watch that video 10 more times. And let's get that over the hump, over the 100,000 mark. Not only did it get 100,000 views, it also contributed to me increasing my subscription base, the channel subscription base, I should say, by 377 subscribers and growing. And so get in there, watch that video again. Mariah Marshall is hanging in there with us. Des Channel in the house. Daisy Lynn Castro sings like a bird. All right, In-N-Out Burger. So we did a short video on In-N-Out Burger. Man, Minnie did a beautiful job on that. She's very creative. I don't have to tell her what to do. She just goes with it, right? So now on that In-N-Out Burger, a lot of you don't know that there's a petition floating around on the internet. I don't know if it can be found on Facebook, but the people in Manila area, BGC and the like, they're trying to get an In-N-Out Burger there. And they did put a food truck. They did bring a food truck into Manila to test the waters. And that place got that. They ran out of burgers within like 4 hours, you know. They let everybody know in advance that once they're out of burgers, they're out of burgers, right? But they were swamped. They were swarmed, you know, with people wanting to get In-N-Out burgers. And I'll tell you what, I've been eating there as often as I possibly can before we head back to the Philippines, which is soon, because you guys know this was a short trip. Jollibee is not like the Jollibee that we did a live video stream in West Covina, California, and there's also a short video where Man Minnie was playing around with the Jollibee. Well, folks, that Jollibee, you know, is across the street from the western headquarters of Jollibee USA, and it's their flagship store. And I didn't eat there. I didn't eat there because it's very, very expensive. It's not that I couldn't afford it, right? But the food is not it. If you're going in there looking for a Filipino fast food fix, you're not going to get it, in my humble opinion, at that particular Jollibee. And so you will get it at the Jollibee here in Sacramento. The food menu and everything is exactly the same. So I wish, if Jollibee corporate office is listening to me, can you please do something about that? People come there for that experience, and you know, I felt cheated or shortchanged. I don't know exactly how to present that other than the way I just presented it. Menge, Rona Cease is here. Pressy Manzanero, 21 million people in the house at 32 minutes and 40 seconds into this live. Let me see. Let me roll the comment sections to make sure that I've said hello to as many people as possible. All right. I hope that if you run into that petition, you will sign it. I think someone told me it was up to tens of thousands of signatures already. And, you know, In-N-Out Burger must be interested because they brought in a food truck. You know, they moved a food truck in there, Alien Cruise, and they sold burgers out of it to test the waters. It was a successful test. Like I said, the train to Sacramento from Los Angeles was a beautiful thing. They gave us free snacks. Where have you ever heard that before? They carved us out so we'd all fall asleep. I'm not sure that was the main reason, but free snacks are free snacks as much as you want. They had family-sized bags of Skittles this big. They had Coca-Cola. They had potato chips of every kind. Snacks, and more snacks, and we did partake. That was, by the way, not a very expensive trip. It was very inexpensive, and that's why I'm wondering, hey, what was the deal with the snacks? All right, so Larry's commenting in about it is always tough to, well, I can't see it because it's covered by the heart. All right, so now the hotel. Well. So this hotel, listen, I'm not going to give it a negative review because these guys have been very, very nice. But this hotel comes with breakfast, and you know I eat a lot, and so when they say free breakfast, I'm there, right? But here's the whole thing: they only run breakfast from 7 to 9, and you got to get there early, or else you're SOL. You know what SOL means, right? Let's see. SOL means you're crap out of luck or something like that. Oh, can you get that snack for freezer, Dan? I mean, bring it, bring it with you. I'll see what I can do for you, Des, about the snacks. I know we grabbed a whole bunch of stuff and we started loading up our backpacks with it. I don't know, there might still be some hanging around. Oh my goodness, Crystal's Adventures is here. Now, Larry, what did you say? Yes, Larry Lee. I have to go back and see if I could read the comment now. It is always tough to lose someone who you're close to. That's absolutely true. Yeah, so Anime did post that link. Please watch a short video, guys. It has now 95K views. Folks, 5,000 more views. And I'm watching it starting to slow down. So we're only getting maybe 1,000 views every 24 hours. So that means that it's about ready to die. But you guys help me keep that alive until we hit the 100K mark, and I will be forever grateful. Tim says, Dan, you can start your diet when you get home from vacation. Yeah, we'll have to do something about that, won't we? Let's see. Every man repeats a story. I was social director on the California Zephyr before I started my cruising career. So the train thing didn't work out either, every man? This was the San Joaquins, by the way. That's the one that goes up the valley. I believe the Zephyr comes up the coast, right? Something like that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful train. Beautiful views as you make your way up the coast through all. Okay, I saw that we glitched right there. I saw that we buffered. Charam here. Ramel Guapo is here. Nicole and Stad family are here to win some money. I am buffering on one of my phones here. I am buffering. Who else is here? Who else is Lorraine Pajares? Shane in the house. Jalen Varisas is here. Shane Rasa, beautiful, beautiful person. And 23 million people in the